Hello, welcome to the last and final session of today's class. We're going to be looking at the grid pattern, the grid layout. Right. Now, we're going to be looking at how we truly make websites web properly optimized on Bootstrap. I still remember your favorite ICT instructor, Okolo Chukwu, senior ICT instructor. Last class, we were able to look at Bootstrap 5 color classes, etc., and text processing, etc. So today, we're going to be looking at how do we truly make website properly optimized on Bootstrap 5. Join me as we go. If you have not been on this channel before, this is your first time. This channel is called Principal Tech Mastery, and I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, follow us on this channel, and honestly, you will never. And let's get. So now we're going to be looking at something very beautiful. We're going to be looking at layout and the 12 column grid engine. Now, Bootstrap 5 makes use of a grid layout, and because of it makes use of a grid layout, it makes it possible that with the help of a grid layout, Bootstrap 5 has been able to make it possible that you and I can actually, that with the help of this now, Bootstrap 5 has made it possible for us. Sorry, I'm clearing up my screen so that we'll start anew this particular episode. Okay, so now Bootstrap 5 makes use of a 12 grid column. This is what that makes it possible for us to build websites that are properly optimized for mobile using Bootstrap 5. This is the major thing. This is we're going to be basically discussing layout 5. What are the things that we need to lay out how do we lay out a website properly? Right. Now we say number one, containers are the most basic layout element in Bootstrap. They pad content and house the grid system. Yes, Bootstrap makes use of a class called of two classes, either the container class or the container-fluid class, and they are the ones that house the grid system of Bootstrap. As soon as you make use of the container class or the container-fluid class in Bootstrap 5, it allows you to do anything. What that container class does is that it's an activation for the grid system, just like the way in normal CSS you have display ratio flex or display ratio grid. That's exactly what the container layout does. The container class and container fluid class does in Bootstrap. You can see what we have here. Container, a responsive fixed width container. It's marked with changes at each breakpoint. Now, if you use the container class, it does not cover the whole screen of your device, of the viewport's device. Rather, it compresses, it adjusts it has a fixed width that adjusts it based on any particular screen that the site is being viewed on. And then the container fluid is a full width container. It covers 100% of the viewports width across all breakpoints. So that is exactly how we're going to do. Now, what are some of we say Bootstrap uses mobile first media queries. Code mobile first media queries. Yes, Bootstrap always uses mobile first media queries. Code targets the smallest screen first, then scales up. Yeah, Bootstrap uses the principle of progressive enhancement, whereby it targets it starts from the smallest and continually scale up till it gets the biggest. Now we have what are those classes? We have the XS class known as the extra small class. This is for devices that are less than 575 pixel, and this is the default. No, you don't need to add anything to use it. Then we have we have the small class, which is used for devices that are which is for the width of or to wide for elements that are 576 pixel and above, either 576 and above. Medium is for the ones that are 768 pixel and above. Large is for 992 pixel and above. Extra large is for 1200 pixel and above. XSL extra extra large is for 1400 pixel and above. Now, Bootstrap's grid system uses a series of containers, rows, and columns to lay out and align content. It is built with flexbox and is fully responsive. Now, the Bootstrap grid system uses a series of layouts and of rows and columns. So it uses a row is a wrapper for columns. You have 12 available columns. So in Bootstrap 5, there are 12 available columns per row. So your column spans must add up to 12 or less to stay on a single line. Yeah, if the column spans you are using add up to 12 or above 12, they will break into the next line. So if you want to put elements side by side on the same line, in Bootstrap 5, then you must give them column classes. You must give them column classes that sum up totally to a maximum of 12 or lesser than 12. If they see 12, the extra columns wrap to a new line. Now let us quickly create something new. So we're going to go here, and when we go here, we're going to go to our XAMPP. Okay, we're going to be creating a new, this is a new website. Okay, let's come to here, creating a new website, ON class 3, new folder. Yeah, ON class 3. Okay, we're going to create it, and we're going to have, as usual, create our CSS folder. We're going to create our JS folder. We're going to create our IMGs folder. Perfect. So now we're going to move forward and then create our index. Like I told you, index is the first page of every website. So it's going to be in ON class 3. Okay, I'm going to create index. We haven't started using custom CSS, but I need you to get used to this. So that's why I will still painstakingly create all the orders. So we save it index, and then we'll now go file new, file save as style.css, open CSS and save as style.css. Okay, cascading style sheet, style.css, and then we'll say file new scripts.js. Okay, we're going to save it scripts.js. Okay, let's do the right pattern. JavaScript file. Okay, and we have saved that. And of course, as usual, we should have our doc type HTML. Okay, HTML. Okay, we're gonna have our doc type HTML. We're gonna have HTML blank equal to 10. Okay, of course, I always like to open and close my tags at the same time. That's my coding style. And of course, I'm going to have the head section, HEAD, and I'm going to have the body section. Let me also open my body section at the same time. Okay, that's for that. So I'm going to come here, of course, meta char, set is equal T8. Have to have our meta name. I told you the most important tag, meta name is equal to viewports, contents equal to width, which is in turn equal to device hyphen width, comma, and scale, initial hyphen scale. I told you this is the most important tag, initial hyphen scale is equal to, we have to grab Bootstrap 5 CDN. Okay, Bootstrap 5 CDN link. I'm going to ask ChatGPT for Bootstrap 5 CDN link. Okay, give it to me quickly. Okay, so I'm going to have copy this, and I'm going to have it here. Okay, I'm going to also come here and introduce my custom CSS file, link rel equal to style sheets. I'm going to have href equal to styles css slash style dot css. Okay, this is how we properly lay out our file, and then we'll come down here and we are done. We can add a title tag. Let's add title tag just for fun of it. Trying out Bootstrap. Okay, TITL. So that's for that. So we are finished with our head section right now. Need to include this. We have to include this. We have to include this. And then I'm going to come here. Like I told you, if the JavaScript should be included just before the closing body tag. So I've copied the CDN for the JavaScript also and pasted it here. Okay, now after we have done that, you can also come down to the next slide to call in your own. I can also decide that let's also grab jQuery's own, because most of my applications I use Bootstrap and jQuery for them. We'll copy this. I'm going to go here, come down, and I'm going in. I'll bring in my custom JavaScript file. Script src is equal to js/scripts. Okay, have that. Also close it. Yes. Okay, that's perfect. So we have that there. So now let's look at how does this now. So when you have finished, do this is the most important parts that you must do first. Then the next thing is that how do we now activate the grid system of Bootstrap? We're going to be making use of responsive spans, the combined breakpoint emphasis to change layout at different screen sides. So we're going to copy this, just copy this like this, and I'm going to paste it here in the body section. Of course, div class equal to container. This is the container that has a fixed width, and then we have row. You see, in this row now, you can see what we did here. The first column 1. Let's first quickly look at what we're going to see now. Let's go to localhost/on class 3. You can see what's happening here. So because of the fact that you see we have column 1, we have in the row we have a total of 1, 2, and on mediums we have a total of 12, 12, 12 for each column. Then on medium screens I declared 6, 6, 12. You can see what's happening there, right? So the first one has filled it. Then on large screen, because my system happens to be a medium screen, okay, I made it to be 4, 4, 4. So now we can actually change that. You can see if we do it like this now, let's see how this site will look on a mobile device now. Let's see what's going to happen. Developer tools. Okay, you see, as soon as we adjust it, you don't even need to check anything again. It has already told you how it is going to do that. So on a mobile device, this looks good, but actually if I want all of them to be side by side on large screens, okay, I can actually just use, even if I don't add all this call MD and all of that, if we do without these guys here, we can use 4 into 3 places. Let's see we do without these ones. Oh, okay, let's use my medium screen. So call -4, call MD-4, call MD-4, call MD-4. Okay, yeah, let's use that there. And let's just change it that way. And let me change this also. See what will happen here. This is the default for the smallest screen. If I still want my things to be side by side on the smallest screen, let's see what will happen and see how it is. Now you see something now, because I changed that first one, no inserts. You can see even on a small screen, you can see how it is. It's still this, because I want to maintain it that way on a small screen. But if I wanted a situation whereby I didn't want to maintain it that one on a small screen, it is always better just give them 12, 12, 12. That way, on a small screen, it will take the proper layout that it's supposed to take by changing all of this to 12, 12. By doing this to 4, 4, 4, medium desktops, that's medium-sized systems like my own, it's going to be 4, 4, 4. It's going to remain side by side, like what we can see right here, right now. It's going to remain side by side. So like this, each element remain. And on very large screen, is also going to remain side by side. And even if I were to do it now, if we did it, let's say we did 3 for one of them, you see that there will be a kind of change. Let's make the first one 3, and you will see what will happen. You see they will all still remain, because why? The sum total of the grid there is still what? Is less than 12. So it will show you there's a difference. So that is just how we do. So like this now, with the help of call-MD, I've told you that on medium desktops, I want this particular div class to take 4 columns. On medium, on large desktop, let it take 4 columns, and on normal screens, whether on the smallest screens, let it be rearranged 12, 12, 12. And of course, I have my usual color classes. If you check the last video, you will see what we spoke about, color classes and text, just to help you differentiate. Then, so but this is exactly how it works on Bootstrap 5. So this way, when you arrange it like this now, you can properly use. That's why it's important that I always encourage developers. I say, before you go into the system, get a biro and a paper and decide on the layout you want to use for your website. And I can have it like this. I can even have it is not a must that all parts must be into 4 equal places. I can have this one to be 3 now, okay, and have the center to be 6, okay, and have this one to be 3. See the difference now on what will happen. The same thing you can do with all of these guys too. So if we come out here and I do that, you can see what happens here. That's how you see many news websites. You see the main content here, and you see that the rest of these guys are sidebars. That's exactly what happens. So you can see it is not compulsory that all the parts must be equal. You can divide it as much as, like, I could even make one smaller. I can make this one 2 and make this one 7. The most important thing is that the sum total of a row sums up to what? To 12. That's the most important thing. That the sum total of the columns that you put in a single row should come to 12. But the way you arrange them, whether you give one, you give some 1, you give 1, 2, 3, anyhow you arrange them does not really necessarily matter on into Bootstrap. It does not matter how you arrange them or how you put them. It doesn't matter. What is most important to Bootstrap 5 is that you are sure that the sum total of all the columns in a single row sum up to 12 if you want them to be on the same. So you must take note of that. Now auto layout and variable width. Now, what of a situation whereby you may say, sir, I don't want to be going through this stress, so I have to do call MD, call LG. You want it to be automatic. Now, auto layout and variable, say use .call to let columns share equal available width. Use call-auto to size the column based strictly on the natural width of its content. So now, if I don't want to go through this stress, I can remove all of these guys here, and I just do call-auto. I just use call-auto here. Auto, of course, but personally, I actually prefer mostly to just use. Personally, I just prefer. I don't like. As a person, I like to actually decide. So I always use, what I always use is call SM. I always use call SM. But if you want it to be an automatic process for you, because that's why it's a rapid application development tool, it makes your life fast. It makes the coding faster. If you want it to be faster, you can see how this is. See, it's automatically working based on the content that is made available to it. It's adjusting based on the, if we increase the text of any column here, it will adjust properly also to fit in that particular content. If I should add an image here, write more text here, whatever I do, it will lay it out to work proper way. But when you use call-auto, that's exactly what happens. I believe that I'm very clear. Then we now have what we call grid alignment, offsetting, and gutter controls. Gutters are the gaps between column content. Yes, use gutters to control the gap between what? Column content. Column content. Control them using G-all and GV horizontal, GX for horizontal and GV for vertical on the dot row. Now, what we are saying here is that on columns, you use the G-1, -0, -2, -3, -4. Depending on you, you use the G- to align items, to give a space between the different columns on the grid. And then if you want to give columns only on the x-axis, gives gap only on the x-axis, use GX-, that's horizontal. And if you want to give on the y-axis, that's along the row. On the row, like you can see, one of the things you must notice here, we had to create a class called what? Row. So if you wanted to give a gap among the rows, you make use of GY-, that's going to arrange it and give gaps on the rows on the x-axis, on the y-axis. We know the y-axis is vertical, x-axis is the horizontal. Since rows are flex containers, you can align items, columns effortlessly. Vertical, align -items, -star. So just what you usually use in your normal CSS, you can still use it. See, vertical, align items. The classes are align items -start, align-center, align-items-end, and then this horizontal is justify-content-start, justify-content-center, justify-content-between. You can also use that. Change visual order without changing HTML structure using order. Push columns to the right by creating empty grid using offset. So basically, what Bootstrap 5 really does is that with the help of this now, you can control gaps and spaces among your rows and your column. You have to know that the run and short of it is that Bootstrap works with rows and columns. So that's why I say it's always a good idea that you decide how you want to lay out your website first before you go use Bootstrap 5 to go. It will give you any layout that you desire or truly want. That's what Bootstrap 5 does for you. Good. So that is for that. Now we have a little classwork here. We say build a responsive article layout using the grid system. Use a standard.container. Create a row with a gutter size of G-4. Create 3 columns, one for the sidebar, one for the main content, one for ads. Are you seeing that? On mobile, all columns should stack, take up 12 columns. On desktop, the sidebar should take 3 columns, the main content 6 columns, and the ads 3 columns, and center the text in all columns and give them distinct backgrounds so you can see the layout. So let's just quickly copy this very fast. This classwork, it's always important that we do not spend time on some things here because it's going to make our video unnecessarily long. So let's see. So let me explain what is happening here. If you look at this now, if we should refresh this page now and see what we have here, you see it looks you see how it looks here, right? So let's see what's the cost of all of this. Now let's look at everything as they should be. So now we have first thing first, you must create a container. Okay, div class equal to container, and then you must create a margin on the x-axis, on the y-axis, that's in between the elements as they arranged, my-5. Okay, remember when we spoke about margin, container is a fixed width, while container-fluid covers. Like if I should use container-fluid, let's change this to container-fluid just for the purpose of this. Let's do container-fluid. See, it covers the whole screen when you use container-fluid, but when you use container only, takes a fixed width of any particular screen it finds itself in. Okay, so now let's just quickly look at what this code is doing. So we say div class equal to row. Therefore, you have to create a row. Always create a row for every row in your Bootstrap 5 document. So row, and we'll give it a gutter of 4. That means G-4. In between the rows, we should have a gap of 4 in between the rows. Then text-center, we aligned every text. Whatever content will be inside any particular row is made to be in the center, and we're dealing with text this time. And then text-white, we make the text color to be white. Now in the sidebar, you see what we have here. Call div class equal to call-12. Now you see why it is not showing the sidebar like that. It's stacking it on my device. It's because of the size of my device. Now if I should change this, if I should go ahead and say call-md-, if those changes have been made call-md-, you see I gave the sidebar call-md-3 because my screen is a medium screen, and on a large screen, like larger screens, you have call-ag-3. I have call-md-6 for the center, and I have the same thing here, and I also have call-md-3 and all of that, and that's here. If you see, it now looks automatically the way you will be. I know this is what everyone was expecting to see, but then that's because I introduced. But if I didn't provide any directive for the call-md, call-12 will automatically be used for it. So when there is no call-md, the call-12, that's the normal call without any insert. These are referred to as insert, like the medium desktop. This refers to medium desktop. This refers to large desktop. We have small screens. We have extra small screens, like I showed you earlier when we started this. So it's going to adjust seamlessly based on the device. So call-12 now, even if we should use developer tools to see it on mobile, you will see it's already optimized for mobile devices. If I should go ahead and just do it like this, you can see on the mobile devices as how it is supposed to be, it becomes automatically a stacked layout. Okay, so this is how we make use of this. This is how we get the result that we want. So you can see now we have our sidebar navigation, we have our advertisement space, and this is the main content. The grid, you can see we don't have to go through media queries, etc. We just needed to make use of the various Bootstrap 5 classes. And what you must know, pick from here is this, that for you, before you start, you must first create a container. You must open a class, a container class, or a container fluid class. And after you create that container, the next thing is to create a row. After you create the row, you divide the row into columns. After you have more than one row in one document perfectly well. But for every row, you should have their columns and wrap contents properly as they ought to be, which is why it is important that we follow the idea whereby I said, whenever you want to build a website, first of all, take your time and use your hand as a developer to pattern the website, draw the website how you want it. That will call wireframing. Are you getting me? We call it wireframing. You have to frame the website exactly how it is supposed to be. This is exactly how it works for Bootstrap 5. Now, with the help of, now we have picked a lot today. With what we have learned so far, you can see that it becomes very easy and simple to build websites, to build mobile optimized websites that are responsive, websites that adjust properly to various screen sizes. Because you cannot provide for every screen size, it's just better to build your website in such a way that your website works like a fluid, like I explained, whereby what is a fluid? A fluid is a liquid, which means that whatever container you pour a fluid into is going to take shape container. This is exactly how website will be. See you next week. See you at the same time next week. If you check our seller link, if you check our description, you're gonna find a lot of resources that you need there. We have released our book on the 200 Gemini prompts, the powerful 200 Gemini prompts. We have released the book now, and we have released the book successfully. And While we release the book successfully, let me just see if I can. Well, no need, because I don't want to go against YouTube policy. But we have released the book now, and you'll find the link in the description. You can follow the link and grab your own copy of the book. Not expensive, just for a very small fee. Not an expensive book. Get it. You're going to have inside that book. You have 200 powerful prompts for Gemini, or to help you in building and in your development of websites and applications. We have codes for the front end, codes for the back end, code for mobile app development, various prompts that you can use to speed up your development. Like I said, I encourage you to build your applications with AI. Use AI to build your application, but it's important that if AI will give you what you need, you have to be able to properly prompt the AI, give you the required result. In our case, we are using Gemini, but these our prompts would work seamlessly for any other platform, be it Vercel, be it Cloud, be it ChatGPT. Very powerful system, a very powerful material. I promise you, you don't want to miss. You need to go and grab your copy and see how it's going to help you and guide you in making use of in making use of Gemini much more powerful. So we meet in the next class. See you same time, same station next week. I still remain your favorite ICT instructor, Olu Chukwu, senior ICT instructor. Join me this coming week for a new set of new. If you are not yet subscribed, the name of this channel is Principal Tech Mastery. Subscribe to our channel, follow us, turn on notifications so you'll be aware of every new content that we bring. Have a lovely day and bye. Ciao, ciao. Bye.